Hey guys, how's it going? Got all the pieces made. These are heim joints, the original heim joints for 300EX arms. Got all the weld off them, and made these pieces here. This will go on the the outer end here that the ball joint will go through. And these pipes cleaned up really nice. This is black pipe, 1/8 inch thick. I can't see anything wrong with using something like this. And then I got rid of the dents. I welded up the dents and ground them out. There is a couple little burn-in pits, but whatever, it'll be fine. So next up, we need to draw this out on here for center line and put my stops in. And I also kind of started to notch them out a little bit, just they're going to need a little bit more here and there, and then the other end. But, alright, so we got all the stops welded in, and I got the center line of this piece here on, and it's got to mark out 6 inches on here. Get the new pieces on here and see if we can make a duplicate arm and just longer. This is just the best way I know of making something like this. I don't have any kind of SolidWorks program or CAD program to try to make something, and so that basically there's automated, or not automated, there's drawings that you can draw stuff on, and you can actually have it in a working model. I've seen it at work. They have a program like it at work, and they design machinery and stuff, or pieces to a machine. They can actually make it, see it do what it's supposed to do, and that it does it right. And the only way that I know to make these is copy them from something that somebody else already made, and just make it longer. Alright, see what we get here. Alright, so I got this little ball joint piece tacked to the plate so it doesn't move around. These guys here, I'm just going to let them stay in there just like that. I think there's enough holding them. Just have to keep in mind that I got to keep a force against them. But you can see here, definitely got to do some trimming on this end. Alright, right now I got it about as good as I can get it in this jig. I got to get it out of here in order to weld all the way around, and I had a lot of fill. Pretty much one of the things about this is that I'm pretty much doing this with a Sawzall. I don't even have a cutoff saw now. All I have is a miter saw, which is made for cutting wood, like 2x4s and stuff. And yeah, so I'm doing pretty much all of this with the wrong equipment, so I don't have a drill press here, and I mean I have access to them, like making stuff like this. I mean I can take little pieces here and there to go get things done, but so kind of doing this definitely on a budget. Alright guys, we got an A-arm, and I think it welded up pretty decent for the gaps I had to fill, and it's not to the point to where I'm like, oh man, I gotta grind that off, it looks like crap. I mean, somebody else might disagree with it. I still gotta do like the sides, all the sides, and so some of that will kind of burn in and clean up a little bit. I got a little bit of touching up to do, but I am happy with something that I had never made before. I'm happy with this, and look at this. It still fits in. Still fits in the jig. So if I can get all 4 of these like this one, I'll be dancing with joy. All right, been working on the second arm, and you see that this is the first arm here. I kind of battled my way around here trying to make this look good, And ever since I've been using this welder, I've been battling with it. It's like I can get something to look okay, you know, but it's a battle. And I've been using Hobart 3/30 seconds rods. And every once in a while I weld stuff up at work. I'll take stuff to work, and at my lunchtime I'll go back and use their welder, and it's like one of these, but it's 3 times the size, and it runs on 480 volts. And I use these 1/8 inch rods, which are Lincoln 1/8 inch rods. That's what they have there to use. Basically, it's a welder set up in a shipping department that they weld like plugs on the end of the tubes. Nothing has to be pretty, it just needs welded on there. But that's what these guys use. And that 480 welder runs around about 135 amps to use these 1/8 inch rods, and it does a nice job. Matter of fact, here is weld that I did with it. And I built this upper section in a half an hour, and I built this lower section in a half an hour, and then another night I welded them together and welded these cross pieces in. And it's, you know, you see here, it's perfect, you know. So anyway, I borrowed 2 of the rods from work, and on 105 amps I got welds like that. One trip. Didn't have to sit here and blob it and everything else. And when these rods are going down, I mean, it's just like just, you know, bzzz, and it's just real nice. I could fill in and everything with these, and you know, and it's penetrating enough. And with these rods, they just like explode on contact, and I've been welding with them around 75. I can get them to go at 60, but it is extremely hard to get them to start, and even then they still explode at 60 amps. So I am going to go get some 1/8 inch rods, because it just makes life so much easier. And then I got a product that's, you know, I get that to look like that all the way around, and it looks like I bought it. So I'm gonna spend another 30 bucks and get me some decent rods. Alright, went to the store and got some Hobart, and that is what the other brand I have is Hobart. Those are the 3/30 seconds. They didn't have any Lincoln. This came from Roll King. Lowe's just wants to sell you a pound at a time, and it costs more money to buy a pound at a time. So, and also Roll King did not have a 10-pound container of 6013. So I like 60s, because it seems like for stuff that's going to be have a lot of movement and rigorous movement to it, I like 60 because it's softer. I've welded stuff before with the 70 and had the welds crack later. So, like engine mounts and things like that. So I like the 60. Whether or not these are going to work the same as what these ones do, there is less flux on them. This is what I just bought. So, thinking about actually putting a couple of pieces of metal up here just to weld it together and see. I might have to use lower amperage with these, I don't know. But we'll see what happens. Alright, so here we have the Lincoln 1/8 rod on 105 amps. And then here we have the Hobart at 105 amps. And then we have the Hobart at, what is it? 90 amps. 90 amps right here. Ignore that one. So, I don't know. I had a lot of splattering going on 105 amps with the Hobart over here, but it did seem to do a better job at 105 than it did at 80 or 90, I'm sorry. And the Lincoln rod did really super nice. I mean, that is beautiful. I mean, it's a wide ass bead, but to go around something one time, you know, less like this, and it's welded, that's awesome, you know. I filled it, you know, filled a probably 1/8 inch gap over here and welded it all up at one shot. Wish I had the Lincoln rods, but these Hobarts here, the 1/8 inch rod is a lot better than the 3/32. So I just think that not all welders are the same, you know. You can do one at, you know, like at work, I'm at around 135 amps with them rods. You know, and then, well, I just think like every welder ain't the same. Every welder is a little different. And I just kind of figured out that I cannot use anything less than an 1/8 inch rod on this thing. It's either, you know, I go down here, the 75 on the 3/32 and splatter it all over the place, and it still splatters, and it's really hard to start at 60. So, you know, this right here was all done up with them 3/32. And it's like, man, I gotta keep grinding and grinding, and then going back and, you know, and look at the mess. There's no mess over here. Alright, well, I'm gonna play around with this some more. Well, I just went back and fixed that joint right here with, you know, that was originally tacked all together with the 3/32, and I like it. That'll work. Once again, you gotta keep in mind that these joints was not notched to be exact fit. They just kind of went into proximity. I had probably a 3/8 gap right here that I had to fill. So, I see a lot of guys actually notch this stuff out using a hole saw. You know, like the little white round hole blades. They're hollow in the middle and have a drill bit in the center. And you need a drill press and ways to fasten this stuff down while you do it, you know. So, you know, I'm just kind of grinding things and cutting it off to get, you know, a close fit. So I'm happy with this. But alright, let's got 2 more arms to do. Alright, I thought I'd go through how I did the last 2 arms. This right here would be, you know, when I set the right hand arm, lower arm in here. This line right here is the center line for the right hand arm. And then basically I just measure, see what the distance is from here to here, flip it around, measure from here to here, and come up with the left-handed arm. That'd be the center line for it. Now this line right here is the length that I need. And I'm using this as a prop to get an angle. The lower arm, I gotta put an angle on it. So what I'm gonna do is figure out what the you know, what I need for an angle, and then weld this down to the plate, so that way when I go from one arm to the other, they're gonna have the same angle because they're on the same prop. So, and then all I gotta do is just put this on center, tack it here after this is welded, of course. And then all I gotta do then is just make the arms fit between, you know, here to here and here to here. Alright guys, we got 4 arms made. We got the lower 2 and the upper 2, and I marked them so that there's no confusion on them. And got the angles on the bottoms, not as sharp as what the original was, but you gotta figure these are longer, so you won't need as much angle on them. Matter of fact, the uppers I didn't put any. So, but well, the next one we'll put them on and see how they fit.